One. Hi, everybody. Rolf Gates here, and I'm very honored to be sharing time with Andres Leon. They have said they're willing to share their experience of Communities Rising, and I'll say on a personal level that Andres is just a phenomenal student who's on a phenomenal teaching path, and I believe they'll make a huge difference in the world in the years to come with the work they're doing both on themselves and through yoga. And so it's just a real honor to have you and to hear what you have to say.
Thanks, Rolf. Yeah, so I was thinking I could share on just like a personal level about Communities Rising and just on a collective level, my experience and just as well as just my journey in kind of rising to become a teacher within the program as well. So personally is kind of what brought me to the program, what brought me to Communities Rising. It was definitely a personal intention. When I saw the program and you were teaching it and I thought, this is exactly what I want to do. Like to see a program finally that was going to center people of color, aspiring healers and teachers of color, that was it for me. Because when I had looked in the past for teacher training, I never felt like I saw a group that I would fit fully into. And when Communities Rising appeared to me, it was like a revolution. I was like, and I want to be part of this revolution. So that's what brought me into it. And I thought, this program is just going to be a personal healing journey for me. Like I came in with that intention, whatever it may be. My intention is to heal and to come to know myself in a deeper way. And I came to yoga on a path of recovery as like a former, as like a person in recovery from alcoholism and addiction. That was my path to yoga. And I wanted to see what this program could do for me in my healing, and it had a deep impact on me. And that had a lot to do with the Sangha that was created within Communities Rising, the community. Us as a community, we were able to come from all of our unique backgrounds, an incredibly vibrant community, different races and genders and sexual orientations and ages and faiths and backgrounds. We all came together and we created what I consider magic. We were able to feed off of each other. I felt as a student, I was able to offer wisdom, and wisdom was offered to me in this really beautiful dance almost. And I felt like one of our community agreements was to practice unapologetic self-care. And in the program, for me, unapologetic self-care was to unapologetically show up as I was, with who I am as like a trans and queer Latinx person. I got to show up as who I was, and that was fully loved and accepted. And I was able to go deeper into the wisdom of my heart, and in that process was able to really access the belief that I could become a teacher. Because I wasn't sure when I came into the program whether or not I would become a teacher. I thought, oh, this is just for me. Like, whatever happens on the other end, I'm going to be a better person because of this program. And that's true. But what's also true is that I realized about halfway through the program that, wait, I think that I also could be a teacher. And that's when things started to change for me. The program became about me too becoming an aspiring teacher of yoga. And I really began to step into that power and believe in myself. And I think the months that we spent together, it did that for us collectively. I think a lot of people in our program were in that same place of like, hey, this might just be a personal journey for me. And at the end, it just felt like everybody was ready to go off into their unique communities and offer the gifts that we had been shared. this ancient wisdom. And the other thing that was so special about our group is we did so with such integrity. We really focused on what it meant to approach yoga and to approach teaching yoga from a decolonized perspective. And we really took care in understanding what that meant. We took care in understanding each other's feelings, understanding each other's traditions, understanding the nuances and the complexity of that topic. And I believe that all of us who will go into teaching yoga after Communities Rising are going to do it with such a radical perspective, because we actually care about the impact of our teaching. We care about honoring where it comes from, and we want to do so with respect for those who came before us and those who will come after. So I really believe that I accomplished everything that I wanted and more in Communities Rising. I came into a deeper sense of belief in myself. We created an incredible community that I'm still so deeply connected to post-graduation. Friends for life, chosen family. And moving forward, I have just Communities Rising just burst open a newfound sense of possibilities for what could come in my life.
Wow. Thank you so much for that share. That was really beautiful. Is there anything going on these days in terms of your continuing education with yoga or teaching that you want to share? Well, how has your yoga direction happened since the training?
Yeah. My personal yoga practice has just deepened, which is really cool. I've just recommitted to my personal practice. Interestingly, I entered a vinyasa teacher training when I am a deep student of Iyengar yoga, which is a different tradition, a different path in yoga. But what that did for me was it made me really inspired to go and become an Iyengar certified teacher. And that process looks a little bit different. So I began an apprenticeship with my home studio. It's a 2-year rigorous training program to become an Iyengar certified teacher. And for me, that's important because Communities Rising was a revolution and a response to white dominant culture and also white dominance in yoga. And I go to a very white dominant yoga studio. And for me, seeing nobody like me in my studio, seeing people cautious to come to my studio who are people of color, who are from different gender identities, it's really painful because I want the community to be there, because I have found so much healing from Iyengar yoga. So that's my intention now, is to become a certified Iyengar teacher so that I could offer classes for people of color within the Iyengar tradition. And that's a real revolutionary thing right now in Iyengar yoga, because it's just so rigid and stuck in its ways. But my hope is just to break it wide open and to be the first trans person of color Iyengar yoga teacher, maybe in the world. So that's my hope. And also Communities Rising deepened my meditation practice. I finally, for the first time, went on retreat, and that just broke me wide open to a new level of healing. And yoga prepares the body for meditation, and for me, it deepened my understanding of what that meant. And now I can say that my spiritual practice is evolving, my spiritual path is evolving, because meditation has also become such a deep part of my life.
Wow. Thank you so much. And I'm just so rewarded to have you in my life. I'm so excited about this new chapter. And it's just a profound tradition. The Iyengar tradition is a profound tradition with quite a history, even though it's only 2 generations old. It's quite a history, and you're going to be a big part of that history in the years to come. Thank you so much, listeners, for joining us. I hope to see you at Communities Rising events in the future. And thank you once again, Andres, for joining us.
Thanks, Rolf, and thank you, community.
Namaste.